Alrighty, Sunday, December 14th, 2025. I'm your host, Gerardo G. Money Pies, and welcome into another session. Great to have everybody here. And then as soon as this call is done, we'll upload it to the YouTube so you can watch it the recording. Today we'll cover the SMT box, how it works, and then we'll also tie in how the GBO signal works for it. And I made a few updates to the boxes and the GBO itself, which I'll push you through to today so you can have them ready. I'm still working on the alarm system for the GBO. It's not as easy as I thought it was, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Andres, welcome in. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started, guys. And we'll also go through how the school platform is going to work as well. We'll cover that at the end. So first we'll go the SMT, the GBO, and then the weekly outlook. In between the weekly outlook, before the weekly outlook, we'll cover the school, and then we'll cover the weekly outlook at the very end. So that's quick and easy. I hope everybody had a good week, good trading week. Our gold is still moving regardless of the season, right? They're still moving, it's still creating opportunity, still giving some money, taking a little, maybe taking a little bit more than than giving, but we're in the fight there together. But yeah, we're gonna start off first off with the SMT indicator, and just so you can understand it and its features and so forth. But what you see in front of you guys is the updated version that you'll have, this evening, with a few updates where the box, I mean, a lot smaller. I know that on the phone it kind of takes kind of I feel like a lot of the screen, so I kind of just went back to the original version, but instead of actual words at the bottom, I'm kind of trying to see if we can color code these, to communicate with us. This is important because it's kind of letting us know where the how the box is set up at a glance. But I did leave a little, I will be leaving a little note on this S&T legend here, right? And you kind of see obviously I just focus on the timing part at the bottom, how, what it all means. But let's back test. Also, too, if you guys haven't noticed, I did add a back testing session window, right? Where it highlights certain areas you want to back test. Obviously, we for the most part back test the New York Open NYC time. So how does this help? Well, it allows us um to get in the market here, right? With and just know exactly what time to go back towards and see how that goes. But let's go back a few a few days here. Let me see, where's Monday? It's Friday. All right, let's try here with Monday and just see how everything was during this time. Okay. So as always, right, we kind of look at the SMT system at the morning, right at 7 o'clock in the morning, central, or right between 7 and 8:30 to see how the market is flowing at that time. And here, right at this time at 7 o'clock, structure was bullish, the momentum was bullish, and also we were doing a pullback. The 17 was doing a pullback. That is very important. The easiest thing that you can do for the SMT box is just simply just focusing on two boxes, guys. The 204 and the 17. Okay, that's kind of like the easiest thing, most simplest thing to do with these two boxes. Obviously, you take away more of the features of the box, the system, but it could be a lot easier for us to read simply because all we're worried about is the structure. Okay, what's the big box telling us? Okay, at that time, and then the time box, which is the little box by itself. And this one, right, because the 17 is doing the opposite of the 204, it's in a pullback phase. Okay, pullback phase there. So then, we're gonna, there's three things that we have to worry about. Pullback, which is the yellow, orange is complex pullback, and then the green is when the 17 realigns back right here. So in this example right here, guys, right, because the structure is bullish, all we have to do is just measure the fib in a bullish direction. That's the main thing that we do, right? That's the main thing that we do. And we put a fib in the bullish direction. It doesn't mean we start looking for buys, but you have to also kind of read the market of, okay, what it could potentially do, because during this blue window of opportunity, the market could potentially sell back to 78% before it takes off, right? So here, ideally, right, we kind of want to wait till about 8:30 to make a decision, because that's when the biggest volume is at. So let's kind of push it up forward a little bit here. 8:30. I think I'm there. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. That when the line ends, that's exactly 8:30. Okay. And and during the live trading sessions, right, we always look at more things, right? We look at more things like how the session, how the previous day, where we at on the weekly time frame. All those things are very, very important, right? But if you notice here, right, this is the structure is bullish. The 17 is still bearish, and now it turned orange. So that's a complex pullback. So what's supposed to happen here? Well, every time we get a complex pullback, let me see if I can rewind just a bit more. And what does a complex pullback mean? The complex pullback means that the 52 bucks, right? The 50, even though it's not in here, just for there, the 52 bucks is also, both of those are against the 204, right? And we're still in a bullish phase here in this example. I remember backtesting. This is a very interesting one. How every time we're in a complex pullback, guys, even on the 1 hour time frame, right? Bullish structure, momentum is bullish, as you all see, and then we have a complex pullback like that. This is why that 78% line is there, because obviously you can use it from over here, but this is where the 23% line comes into play. And a good setup that I've always seen was this: the buy low setup, buy at the 78% line, stop loss at there, and then you take profit right at the other 23%. Okay. So structure, momentum, timing, when it's like lined up like this, we have a decent little shot to take us to there, right? I think this is what happened. Yeah, there you go. So you see, happened really, really fast. But yep, happened. And yeah, Daniel, I know you do like that edge to edge, zone to zone. But look,
Yeah, I
it
know. I
didn't
saw
go for
that.
it.
The one thing I don't wouldn't trust that big pullback, because all didn't we have news that morning as well?
I think this was Monday. Monday we had some news. Yeah, this was Monday though.
Yeah, so Monday, especially when you get a big wick like that, boom, I'd be very concerned about that actually going direction, because it automatically popped up, tested the almost high of the two tops, the open and close of those candlesticks there.
Yeah.
Wicked up there, tested it, and then just shot back down, and most of the volume was at the bottom of that candlestick. So that to me is also, if you see it's got that morning star pattern right there. You got the candlestick, you got the doji, then all of a sudden it drops and
Yeah.
creates that and that candlestick, the engulfing candlestick. And it covers both those previous two candles, and that says, "Whoop, hey, hold on a tick, we're not done."
No, good
That's
stuff there.
that's just like stuff I always look for on trades like that.
Nice. Yeah, but this is a good setup, guys. Again, you
It is a
remember
beautiful setup. I love it. Yeah.
78% to 23%. And it is pretty consistent when that pattern happens. And this is kind of where you take a shot at this and see where it goes. And a couple of things, right? It's like when it comes to this market, we do have to be like water, right? And just kind of adjust to it. And if it does not go above, and we get the sellers to step in here. okay, it's only going to go and make a new low. And this is kind of where like, okay, if the buyers don't step in here, right, that means that the 50% roughly of the big box is going to become some type of resistance and then bringing down. All right. So, I think it's really important. Just, our job in trading is just to multiply our money, right? Our job in trading is to multiply our money. Hey, Dr. Chase. Our job in trading is to multiply our money, finding ways for opportunity. And if the trade doesn't work, we protect our capital, right? We protect our capital. I think a lot of times, I think we either internally or out of pride, I don't know, because it happens to me too, right? It's like we want to catch the entire move or we want to be right on our setup, like things like that, right? And here is just a matter of like if price does not buy from the 78% or does not react of the 78%, well, it's going to break and go the opposite direction. If the buyers do step in, and a lot of times, right, this is an area to take profit, but you want it to go higher. It gets to your take profit area, you hold the next thing it brings you back at break even because it doesn't want to trend. Those are little things just this that will make a difference later on. Like, hey, this is how you win, right? This is how you win. But yeah, that's the setup right here, guys. That's the setup that you can potentially see forward, and we'll keep going on. And then before we wrap up this S&T session, we'll show the importance of also using the session that targets, right? Because again, though, right, if this is the New York session right here, okay, New York session has the potential destination to go to based on averages, right? As we always like to check. And having those targets, like even here, like having these targets are a little, I'm like trading a little blind. Another thing you can do is to the fib, you can add the positive 1272 extension. Let me switch to fib here. Okay. So obviously, if for example, if we have a bullish structure, we're trying to get back to 23%. And if 23% does continue buying, no seller step in, we'll go to the extensions. But if this 23% here does not, right, does not hold, if it holds, and then we just continue going down, our next target without using the sessions ranges would be that 272 down here, right? And then you can kind of see the force coming down here with structure. But again, though, touches the 78%. I think I did it twice. Let's see. I did it at 8 o'clock. We right here, like it came in, touched it at right before 8:30, got a reaction, and it just missed the 23%. Came back again, stronger, and went back over there. But the sellers just were very, very strong, right? And then again, here you keep the fib the same as we had it, and there it goes. It reaches the extensions. Pablo, I got your negative 150 here that you like at the bottom of a counter move, but there it is. So that's what happened Monday. Monday was a little back and forth, and that's how price played out right here. Let's fast forward a little bit to the next day. Again, you can use the S&T box, on any time frame. Just got to make sure, how it works on different sessions. But here we are. New day begins. How we're looking at a new day. Okay. New day structure is bullish, right? Structure is bullish. Momentum hasn't really turned. The momentum is affected by the momentum is connected specifically to the box of the midline of the 108 and the 52. Okay, depending on their position, right? So if I turn those boxes on right quick, okay, Notice here, right? This is the 52 box in this midline and the 108 box in this midline. This midline of the 108 box is basically the box of 108 and 204 are the same. The boxes should never be the same. Okay. If they are the same, you're gonna have a big range. Okay, price will be pulling back more than you wanted to. So whenever the boxes or the flags are overlapping, you won't have a smooth trend. You want them to all be separated. So them being connected down here together allows us. It's basically saying, I won't trend. I may get a different, bigger pullback. But as long as both lines are above the 204 mid, we have bullish momentum. If one line is equal or they're mixed, you're gonna get a neutral momentum. But again, though, this is still structure is bullish. You fib this as we did, okay, right there. And here's where the timing feature comes in, where okay, when is the 108? At what time or how many more minutes does the 108 flag have before it kind of separates? And give or take will be about an hour. Okay, let's see what happens from here. Price here reacted to 50%. I remember this trade. They had a 50-minute rally-based rally there. That price just took off. And there you go. See, now they're separated. Look what happened the first time. I think on this one, KG was telling me that hopefully I think he was in a buy, but it went up with him and it went back down with him. Remember, these two flags here, right now, they're smushed together, right? And we do get a bullish reaction right at the 50%. The price does not take off. See, it goes up, but it just cannot trend. Right here, right here is when it was supposed to start trending, right? We got the impulse, we got the correction, and then we should be trending pretty smoothly from there, right? Because nice little 5-minute rally-based rally. But because these flags were together, we get that deeper pullback. And there it is. You see, you get that deeper pullback. But now, right now they separate it. Now it's ready to trend. And then it finally takes off.
So basically, what you're saying is when the momentum is neutral.
That too. I didn't talk about the momentum, but go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So okay. So in other words, when the momentum is neutral, you're still waiting for that pullback to continue to go down.
It could be a pullback as well. Good observation there too. See, I was just talking about the structure, right?
Gotcha.
Of the 108 structure and the 204 flag. They were sharing the same low. But you're right. Look at the momentum. Here, the momentum was also neutral. It did not start trending until, right, these two split up, making the 108 flag box, excuse me, a little higher. And because it went higher, it turned green as well. It does not mean, right? It does not mean that you have to wait for everything to be green or things like that, right? All I'm saying though is just expect if you got that first entry there, right, at the 50%, because the momentum is still not yet bullish, and because of the flag here, they're sharing the same low. Because you notice there is no 108 flag, right? There is no 108 flag until there, right? Until these two separated. Now, because this box shrunk, now there goes the midline there. So basically, all momentum now is bullish. And then finally it trends. Okay. And there it went. Yeah, hit the negative 18 extension. That was Monday. I'm gonna say that was Tuesday. That was Tuesday. Tuesday's price action. All right. Let's keep it moving here to the new day. Actually, there's where when it gave the little Jibo gave a signal. All right, turn bearish a bit. All right, good. This one was a tricky one for me on Sunday. Right. Yeah. All right, this is where we were on Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday we had that news, um, the FOMC news. So structure, momentum, everything was bearish here. Okay, and you notice we have a complex pullback in the time box section. Whenever we have a complex pullback, what does that mean? That price is going to at least come to the 23% lines, right? So here, where we literally wait for a sell from right there, stop loss here, take profit there. Okay. Let's see what happens right after 8 o'clock, 8:30. We get a nice reaction around 61%. Let me fib the swing there. Yeah, we get a reaction around 50, 61%. And again, they'll see it doesn't want to trend down as much. It just holds its ground. And there actually the play was pretty simple on Wednesday. The only thing, right, it just was not able to make a lower low. So the setup was straightforward, where structure was bearish, entry between the 50, 61%, and obviously our target is the lows in the first extension. And in this scenario, it barely missed the low, and then it somewhat reversed back to the top side. Um, Man, there you go. So that was the news. Look at that. Crazy, crazy news that played out. Um, and then this thing just kind of went up from there. Let's go with Thursday. That was Wednesday. And then we'll jump into Thursday. Getting there, we're getting there. This is the one that was tricky here, guys. Okay. And this is where, yeah, I remember this is the one now. This is where we do have to take in mind the previous day. Okay. The previous day is important. I believe this right here, this was the previous day low. Uh this area here. And then this is the previous day high. Okay. And it came in, hovered around the 61%, and then it took off. But whenever it was the S&T, the structure was bearish. And here is where this is kind of where we have to be flexible and like as I mentioned, kind of just be flexible with the market. We're forming a complex pullback. Structure is bearish, momentum is bearish, and the pullback in the time box is orange there. Okay, this is the setup right here. Okay. Whenever you see a complex pullback, it's a higher chance is going to get to that 78%. The blue range that you see here, that's this New York time, NYSE open, and we get there. You see? Here, prices start turning around, and we do get a nice reaction back to the downside. Okay. I remember, I think we were trading this live during the class. But again, the impulse was low to high. Here, right? This is one thing that it's important to understand about the boxes in general is that when the price is above the midlines. So this is the simple rule that we have about each box. Okay. So you have a frame right here. Okay. You have a frame. That's how every box works. And you have the 50%. Regardless of the structure, yeah, regardless of the structure, if the price is above the midline, remember the cloud? If the price is above the midline, right, it's bullish. Okay. If price is below the midline, is bearish. So in this scenario, look at all these midlines here. Price is above all the midlines, even though they're red, even though the structure is red, even though the momentum is red. We have to take into consideration that this used to be a ceiling. Now it's it used to be resistance. Now it's support. So all of these become support that can keep price up. Okay. And that's exactly what happened here, right? Price, even though the momentum wasn't yet bullish and the structure wasn't yet bullish, right there, it got a nice reaction from it. And then we got the flip right here. Again, this would have been the best entry, but once price got up there, right, that's when things really turned around. All righty. And went up. But check this out right here, guys. This is where the multi-time frame, especially intraday, comes into play. Right here, if the 5 minute S&T box is not really doing what we want it to do, and because we're during the NYSE volume, just turn it down to the 2 minute time frame. Okay, the 2 minute time frame will be our friend. Easier to read, right? We have the. Let's go ahead and take off the 23 lines just for now. Okay, so what's happening during the 2 minute time frame during NYSE? Bullish structure. The time box, it just switched it from bearish to bullish. So it's trying to recover. It's waiting for a pullback, right? It's waiting for a pullback. In this scenario, you could fib the low to high, okay? And then here it comes, okay? So these are the setups that we want to keep in mind, okay? When structure is bullish, I think I have it on that Notion um, information guide. When structure is bullish, okay, and we have a regular pullback, okay, our entries are at the 38, 50%. Okay, let me put this yellow. Okay, right here. When we're in a pullback phase. When we are in and then the stop loss, I would say would be the 1 or the 78%. All right. Perfect. So in this scenario, we could potentially enter at the, was there, I'll check right now. You mean like an ETM candle? And then we can take it back up, at least to there. Okay. Let's see. I know we're at your 50, 61%, and I know it was a 15-minute one, 15 or 5 minute one. You check. Oh yeah, it was a 5 minute rally-based rally. 5 minute rally-based rally. So 50% swing, 5 minute rally-based rally. So back to here, the 5 minute S&T was not working. So the market was moving too fast. That the 5 minute time frame, the 5 minute S&T was too slow for it. That's where the 2 minute one comes in. Okay. And here, right, structure is bullish, momentum is still neutral, but we have one line above, which is fine. Pullback, entry between 38 50%, right? And there it went. Okay. But again, it's the same rules, guys. It's just a matter of which time frame are you going to get in, which time frame is giving you the best entry, the best opportunity, or the cleanest look available for us, and there it is. Dan, anything you want to add on that, man?
No, no, it's right on. And if you go back to when it was, let's see, we're actually in that position, I think, when they're all lined up, like, yeah, right there. Go back to the beginning of right there. Yeah. So like I said, my rule of thumb, we're still on a 1, 2, 3 strategy. Look at how you got all the support right there to 50. That would be my entry would be at the back of the fifth wall, 50%. Because already, like I said, we're in a pullback phase. I'd be looking for that the trigger to take us higher. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And again, guys, so this is how the GBO works. Okay.
Ooh. And we can also answer Anna's question from the other day that she popped in the thing. If you notice, stop loss could even be at the 618. It's a little riskier, but when you're doing multiple setups, like we're doing multiple trades multiple times, if say you have it your first entry at the 50 and your stop loss is down here at 76, then if it gets up to 382, bring it up to six. I just you can do a trailing stop loss like that.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that is important. Yeah, but
Or you can,
if we see price gonna be turning around 38, 50%, right? We're basically saying price will not touch the 61%, right? And we can put our stop loss a little bit lower. But again, the rest where the GBO comes in and basically the GBO is analyzing, what we are analyzing manually, right? So if I turn it on, okay, I did make some updates to this. I did now we can show or hide the legend, so it won't be in the way. Um, but again, though, it's just on mobile. And here on the screen, it looks nice, but on mobile already, all these things kind of block everything unless you put it in landscape mode and so forth. I don't analyze my charts too much on mobile, anyways. But at the same time, we have that option to turn it off or on. Here, I'll leave it on for this example. Here, basically, it's no active trade. Okay, so what the GBO is looking for, it is literally just communicating with two boxes, guys. It's communicating with the 204 box and the 17 box. It does take some momentum into consideration, but just for visual purposes, I will hide some things here. Okay, and it's working 24 hours for a particular setup, right? Its first rule is looking for what it's right now, right? Bullish and pullback. Okay, this is basically GBO kind of it's on, it's awake. Now from here, what is it looking for? It's looking, and why is it in pullback phase? In pullback phase because the 17 flag, it's on top of its box. It's not aligned, right? So that's the reason why it's in pullback phase. So then number two, it's looking for realignment. Okay, realignment. We'll just put here real. It's looking for realignment. What is realignment? Realignment means that when the 17 flag has to get in the bottom, just like this. Okay. So let's hit play. The price is moving forward. And you see how the flag up here is the same in the same area. Erase this. Perfect. So, okay, you see it at the edge. So either we get a strong push up or this flag starts coming down. See? All right, there it is. And there it is. No, it's actually not yet. Not yet. It did go down, but this high is still higher than there. And that's the reason why it's still red. There it is. Perfect. And when the signal and when people a GBO turns on, right? What happened here? Oh, that's why. Right? When the GBO turns on, it basically meant structure and then the 17 realigned, right? And it gave us the entry. The stop loss now I've given it some more room. Okay, the stop loss used to be at the low of 17. Now I put it at the low of the 52 box just to give us some more room for it to work. Let's turn on the 52 box real quick. So the GBO does not have the S&T boxes, but it knows where they're at. Let's put it like that. Okay, it knows where they're at. So you see the signal came on. Okay. And this is where the entries, and how does it calculate the entries? Well, the signal came on based with this candlestick right here. All right, it came on with this candlestick right here. But as of right now, we're beta testing multiple and different types of entries if you're doing this. See entry mode, mid 17. So when everything lines up, it's gonna give us the entry right at 50%, okay, of the 17 box. That's the reason why it's mid 17. It looks for the mid 17, gives you the entry, and it looks for the low of the 52, and it gives you your stop loss. And we get a 1-to-1 and 2-to-1 scenarios. All right, so this will be the entry here. That will be the stop loss, and that'll be the take profit, which is a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Here and then up here be 2-to-1. Question: would one? Yes, you can set a limit order. The ideal thing, right, is once I have the alarm systems going, you set a buy limit order at that price level, right? And then see if it can reach up there. So exactly one can do that. Um, and then another type of entry that we have, right, is the open. So what does that mean? The open means that it'll give you the entry at the open of that candlestick. So if I change it, there you go. See how the entry went higher at the open, but the stop loss remains the same. Well, because of that, right, we have a bigger stop loss. Nothing wrong with the bigger stop loss because we're going for the um, the 1-to-1. So, Nico, so it's it's meant to be. The question is, what time frame do you usually use, people? It's meant to be used on the 5-minute time frame. Okay. However, I'm trying to. I think this most recent coding that we did, putting the stop loss at the 52, is allowing these parameters. Again, it's not about time frame; it's about these parameters right here. Okay, so the GBO, it's literally about two things, right? First thing is the turning on the realignment stuff, right? That's what it looks for every time, the realignment. Okay. And then number two, it's basically for valid setups, validation. Okay. And that's what it's looking for. So once a price realigns, FIBO will give you a signal, but only if the parameters are valid. So what does that mean, right? It's looking for only stop losses of 80 to excuse me, it's only looking for a 17 box of the range between 80 and 120 pips. So with this update that I did with the stop loss beat at the 52, it's allowing us to use it across different time frames much better than before, because it's all going to depend on the range of that 17. Okay, here, that this little box here is very important because everything is about this box here, from the midline on the bullish scenario to the stop loss. If this range is too big, right? If this range from the midline to the 17 is too big, right? This can only be 80 to 120 pips. If it's 1 pip too short or 1 pip too big, it's not going to give you a signal. Okay, it's not going to give you a signal. So now that we've added the stop loss down here, it's actually giving us more opportunities on the 2-minute, 3-minute, 5-minute, and 15-minute time frames. That's what's neat about it. So it's always looking for the same thing, and given that the stop loss is much more space, it actually it's more consistent, which I'll show in a second on what I'm looking for this. But yeah, so see here in this example, right? It's the open, so it pushed the entry at the open of that candle. If I change it to the close, it'll go up, but it also gives us more space there, or at 50%, right, of that candle. I'm still more in favor of the mid. I do like the mid a lot better. Okay. The only problem with the mid, right, is that sometimes price just did not come to there. So if I can push it forward, see it just missed it, but it did hit take profit. Okay, it did hit take profit there in that scenario. Um, and this is kind of where like it's good to understand how the fib works, right? Because this box right here, the 17 box, you can technically measure it. Okay, right there with the fib. And again, I think it rejected between 23 and 38%. Yep. Just touched the 38% level of that 17 box, and then it takes off. Okay, so setting buy limits works, but it can miss. But let's use this information here to kind of see the parameters. Okay, let's go back to the 5 minute chart. Okay, I have the parameters set for the GBO. I do like this because I need something to communicate that it's on or off. I'll fix that. So it does keep a history, right? It does keep a history of things. This one, right? It was with the parameters. With the parameters, 80-20. This one, the TP hit there. This one, stop loss hit. This one here hit only TP1. So the signal was given. It almost hit stop loss. It hit TP1. It did not hit TP2, but the trade is considered a winner, right? Because it's a one TP1 hit. This one, the stop loss got hit. TP. So that's kind of how I've been back testing right now, Nico, just kind of eyeballing the settings. And as long as I'm seeing more take profits and stop loss, those settings are pretty good. And you see there it goes. Just a lot more take profits and stop losses overall. So let's see how this looks on a 2 minute time frame. All right. So on the 2 minute time frame, because of that 17 box and the boxes are smaller, right, in ranges, it's also working pretty well. It's got a lot of take profits, at least to the TP ones, and stop loss there, take profit there. So long story short, the 8120 parameters with the 52 stop loss has been working very good. On the 15 minute, it is, Andrich, it is. And even on the 15 minute time frame, guys. Okay, what is this here? Sometimes this coding has a mind of its own. Why is this one denied? Oh, because it hasn't touched it yet. Interesting. So even on the 15 minute time frame, it's working okay. Okay, it's working okay. So those parameters right here are very important, right? Because as I told you guys, if these parameters, if this validation was not here, look how many signals or how many realignments happened during the market. Look at that. All these little black flags with blue arrow, that's when price realigned, right? That's when price realigned. But again, though, it doesn't check the 17 box to be too big, it could be too small. But with the realignment check, it gives you a more filtered um, um, signal. It gives a more filtered signal. So again, you can always go back and turn that on just to double check on that. Now, for example, right, like I think Dr. Tree is talking about Euro USD. If I'm in 5 minute charts, okay, and if I'm on Euro USD, okay, we're not going to get one signal. Why is that? Well, because that 17 box is never going to reach an 80 pip movement on a 5 minute chart for Euro USD. But these same parameters could work on the 1 hour time frame. Let's see. Actually, no, it was the 4 hour time frame. There they go. See, it didn't even work on the 1 hour time frame, guys. There's no signals. There's just one signal here. But again, though, these signals are not just any signals, guys. How do we get a signal? If the structure is bullish, okay, Jibo is only going to give you buys, right? Only going to give you buys. What is it waiting for? It's waiting for the 17 to give you what? A pullback. Okay. And then they'll give you, once it gives you a pullback, then is looking for realignment. So 17 pullback, and then 17 realignment. That's when it'll give you a signal to buy. That's the neat thing about it. And you knowing that is important, right? Because you know those rules are important. Oh, and we're getting on that right now, Dr. Trees. Dr. Trees is asking what the Euro USD parameters need to be lower. Well, it all depends. So if you're trying to take less trades and just kind of hold one, not be stuck in the charts, those same parameters may be good for you, but you have to wait for them on the 4-hour time frame, right? The SMT boxes, the SMT system does not turn on the box itself, right? Does not turn on the on they only turn on the box, only turns on the 2 minute, 1 minute, and 4 minute. But the legend, for whatever reason, turns on. The flags, for whatever reason, turns on. Is a glitch, right? It's a glitch, but I'll take the glitch, right? Because you know how we got the signal, right? You even though the box is not there, okay? Structure bullish, momentum bullish, and 17 there. So we have to wait for the 17 to pull back. There it is. So here goes the 204 box, the 204 flag down here. So technically, that's the box, right? That's the box right there. Okay, even though we don't see a box, okay, there it is. There you go, Aldrich. Bullish structure. We got a pullback phase. So now the Jibo is looking for a realignment. So it's looking for this flag to turn. There he goes. Flag turned bullish or realigned. Okay. And then there goes our targets. So what's stop loss here was, I mean, it's a big stop loss, 215 pips, but you're gonna get 400 pips in return, right? If you hold it all the way to TP2. And again, look at the trees. This one worked perfectly with a buy limit. You see that? It worked perfectly with the buy limit right there. You put a buy limit right at that price level, 1.09838. Stop loss here. Take profit up there. Buy limit, TP1, TP2. I notice here, right, when it hits TP1, the number erases. This is something that I want to add. I have actually, I may have to make a phone call to a friend that I have in New Zealand because I need some help with some of the alert system. But again, hits TP1, alerts us, and we can go to break even or take partials or whatnot. So we won't have to lose this trade because a lot of times it hits TP1 and then it could reverse. This one was pretty quick, Dr. Drees. I mean, this was well, when the signal started, let's see. We trade gold. Most of us trade gold. I think gold is enough to play with intraday, but I think it's a good habit to have a pair on the back end, right? To just cook in the background, guys. It actually helps with patience. It helps with just letting it ride, right? Letting it ride. But I can't do that, Nico, if I'm not trading gold. If I was just trading a Euro USD like that, okay, I couldn't do that, right? But even so, guys, when you have a bigger lot size too, and you know how much money you can make, um, if it hits your take profit, let's say it takes 10 days, right? If it takes 10 days for you to make, let's say, 5 grand, well, 5 grand here and 10 grand here. When you think of it like that, right? Like, oh, snap, I'm making 5 grand in 10 days, right? It's definitely worth the wait. But that's when you have a bigger account, maybe you have a funded account where you're trying to pass it, or you just have a where you have a big enough funded account where the lot size you use is only 0.5%. But if you let it ride so many pips, again, though, this is not a lot of pips compared to gold, right? This is only what? This is a day is moving in gold. This is 200 pips. Gold moves that in an hour. And there goes 400 pips. But again, though, right, just one way to just let the trade run. Let's see the buy signal. Let's see when they hit the buy limit. There it goes. Hit the buy limit. From there, took approximately a day and 12 hours. Okay. Yeah, so that's how it works. Okay. It did. So those parameters work like that, good for Euro USD on the 4 hour chart. Now, where is the school? Let's see. Let me quickly log in. We got some people trying to join us. I have no idea who they are. Tyson Spencer. But I guess they'll come in later. The Jibo, I am kind of saving some parameters for it. Yeah, for those of y'all who got the Jibo access, guys, it's still available for you guys. Basically, I create a little course here and the Telegram access, but Jibo parameters, we're kind of just saving some things there. Here, Anna shared this one with us for Euro USD on the, oh wait, there's no 1 hour time frame. Oh, yeah, she was on the 1 hour time frame, but with the parameter of 5 and 50. And there's a lot of blue coming out there. So let's put that on there. So we're going to switch the parameters of, go to the hour charts and change the parameters to 5 and 50. And there they go. A lot more blue than stop loss. That's what I'm working for right there, Andrich. I'm working on that alert system to give us something in alert. Um, Definitely what I'm working on that right now. And yeah, guys, there you have it for Euro USD. Now I think we go to the 5 minute chart. Let's see if it gives some. Yeah, it's also giving signals on the 5 minute chart simply because that 5 minute range is small. Yeah, that 5 minute range is small. A lot of trades. Let's see. Let's back this these right quick. Oh, I'll share right here. The notification, no problem. Let me see. Shits. Sounds good, Andrich. And while we're here, this is the link to join the school. While we're here, as I mentioned to you guys, the kind of the plan for 2026 will simply be, let's see, sorry for no, can you use, oh, you can use it on any pair, Nico. As of right now, right? I don't have the pip movement on the indices, But yeah, this will work on all pairs. Okay, work on all pairs. We're just kind of back testing the parameters right now of them. But yeah, it's going to work on every single pair. The pip counter on the back end. Oh, it's only familiar with gold and the forex pairs. But yeah, it works with any pair. Because again, what is it looking for? It's looking at the 204 range with the pullback on the 17 and realignment. That's all it's looking um, for the movement. So it's looking for an impulse, a pullback, and an extension. Literally, the 1, 2, 3 strategy. That's what it's looking for. Okay, this is a pure structure indicator, right? Impulse, correction, extension. Okay, and this being the 17 box right here. So it's purely on structure. Oh, I like that drawing. Just draw that on my end. Impulse, correction, extension. And this is the 17 box. Yeah, this is all people is looking for, guys. But yeah, now that we're in the school thing, and then we'll wrap it up with the just so you guys know how this is gonna work. So school, I should have used it from the beginning, but it's fine. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ron. We're recording. Oh, nice soccer. Yeah, I have a game today at 12 as well. Cold, but we have a game to coach. So school is actually very nice. School is a mix of Facebook and YouTube, but also has so the community is like a Facebook. Right here, you can put a post, and then we can all chat and so forth. The classroom it has ways you can have classrooms in them here. And then calendar, I like the calendar, it's very nice. You can put your classes there. It also blocks you depending on the access you have. So if you have access, you'll be able to click here and get the Zoom link. If you don't have access, right, it'll say you don't have access. Members, let you know what members are there. Okay, I like this. I mean, no, it lets you know kind of where the members are at. I mean, I think you can block this, of course, right? So you don't know exactly if somebody's looking for you. Then you don't want them to be found. You can probably block this in your privacy. But I like this, right? Look how we're connected worldwide. It's really nice. I like it personally. The gamification stuff, I never used the gamification. I really don't know how this works, but some people like gamification stuff, and it also unlocks this, right? But how am I going to operate moving forward, right? Let me see here. The school has an affiliate program locked into it, right? So I need to find out, and I need to show you guys how to share your link to the school. Just because this is the pricing moving forward. Going on. Okay. So you guys are legacy members, right? Okay, this does not apply to you. Okay. Once you're in, I'm gonna give you premium access. Okay, for the support that you guys have had, from since all this time, you guys, there's nothing for y'all to need to pay. The only thing you may need to pay for it would be the Gbo if you want access to it. Okay, for the beta testing. But you don't have to pay this. Okay, but moving forward, every new member that wants to be part of the school, they'll have free access to it. Okay, this will give them obviously the community. I have a learn to trade course that I'm wrapping up, and they trade in the trade lounge. Okay, and obviously the community chat and all that stuff. That's free, right? They'll get to know the community, they get to know me, they get to get to experience a trade lounge here and there, and they're connected. So it gives them a little bit more value than just a Telegram, right? Because a Telegram, you really don't have a course. So anybody who's interested in trading or kind of want to get their feet wet, this is the way to go. You enter free, you just share the link, and you're in. Anybody who wants to be have your access, right? The inner circle legacy group access, they'll pay $279 per year. one time. No monthly payment. They'll get everything that they get in the standard, but then they'll get the Wednesday live trading, they'll get the Sunday study call, and then they will have access to the rest of the classes that 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 I'll have for them. For example, if I go back to classroom, they'll have access to the Trade Circle Legacy group, right? I'll have a little academy there where I'll have more recordings on some structure. The G Money Vault, they'll have access to that as well, and then obviously everything else. So anybody who's free will only have the yes, tomorrow the big day. So anybody who's free will have the Learn to Trade and the About unlocked. Anybody who is Legacy will have the Trade Circle, the Academy, and the G Money Vault unlocked. Okay. And for example, my Learn to Trade course, is just I'm creating the just an introduction, the art of trading, trading basics and basics in action. Just clean up some of those things there. And then, like for example, the Academy, right? They'll have a better, you know, just more details, more of the strategy, the SMT system, and then you'll unlock this here. All right, you guys. So that's what that'll entail. Yeah, and that's the and for full year, no monthly subscription and renews annually. And they also have access to the SMT indicator right here. Now, for now I'm part of COC right now, right? If they want to join more live trading, I believe that's they have a discount on this. Okay, they have a discount on this, but I put it this price here because obviously we don't want you to buy through here. We want you to buy through the COC Life website. Here is basically you have access. Anybody who joins here, I will give them that included as well for a year, right? But then they'll have access to the live trading that I do at COC. They'll also have access to the FIBO indicator, and they will also have access to the GBO indicator. Okay, because remember GBO, right now I'm offering to you guys through beta, and if you sign up for it, you have access to a lifetime. Okay. Once the beta phase is over, right, we'll be including GBO with the COC live subscription, right? And I don't want, if you want to wait for that, you can, but I believe the offer that I'm promising you guys is a little better. But that's how it is, guys. That's how I'm going to be rolling 2026. Tomorrow, I will start opening up the classrooms for you guys to join. Somebody who wants to just kind of take it easy and just focus on trading, this is where they want to be. Okay. If they don't, this is where it be. I would like to see maybe a promotion, right? I know it's Christmas time and I just don't like that because, it's people are thinking about presents, but if they want to invest in themselves, I may do a promo where the month of December, you buy the premium and you get lifetime access, right? Hey, whoever really wants it. And then back in January, mid-January, it goes back to the per year. But we'll see. I'm still thinking about that. Okay. Especially for you guys, so if you guys know anybody, that could benefit from it, it'll be better. All right, guys, let's do the weekly outlook. Any additional questions on the SMT GBO? Let me know. We covered it for the most part. We covered everything. Just alarms. We're just waiting for alarms, guys. Waiting for alarms to kick in, and I think once we have the alarms, we're set. Um, Es lo que estoy revisando, Pablo. Sería eso, ¿verdad? Sería, se pueden poner en fácil en TradingView, pero en veces uno la tiene que activar todavía. Si la hago por Telegram, serían automáticamente, pero es más coding ahí. That's why I may need to get some help. All right, let's get to it. All right, guys, weekly outlook. I think this is ready. Ooh, this one, impulse correction. All right. Let's see, Deanna. So now it really doesn't say pullback or not. Yeah, on this version of Deanna that I'm probably gonna release, like right now, we have this right here, right? Which I like it. Gives a good glance, but on mobile it looks too much info. And I can always put it back like this, but this also gets too wide. And if I go back to the update, right? 1 second here. It could just be little boxes like a little just what do you call? Just a little icon, right? A little icon. I'm debating on that, but just kind of seeing right now how it goes. Oh, sounds good. Yeah, Miss Iris. But we'll see. I do have the information here, Jana, as far as like if you go to Legend, it'll tell you what it is, but we'll see. I'm still playing with this, okay? Visually. Yeah, pullback is yellow, complex is orange. Yep. Yeah, thanks for that question there. Weekly outlook. All right, guys, let's see. All right. All right, so the previous week we closed rally-based rally style. We'll take the high and the low, as we always do. Previous weekly high, previous weekly low. It's a bullish movement. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame from here and turn on the sessions. Okay, we got these highs at the end over here. We'll see if it gets to them first. But here goes the range, the weekly range. You fib this, low to high, previous week. We already did come in, well, not the week though, but we did a pullback. We're below the 23%. Gracias, Pablo. Previous week, 23%. It did come in and already touched the previous weekly high with this wick. What price level is this? It did touch the 50. Could it want to touch back the 61.8%? We do have on the 4-hour chart, right? A nice little candlestick, nice fair value gap right here as well. Very near the 61%. Given that we are below the 23% of the previous week, we'll be opening up. I'm curious to see when it wants to come down there. Okay. So that's how that looks like that. Let's see the 2-hour time frame. Maybe 50%, right? Of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday will be good. That'll be a good one right there. But let's see if there's any ETM candles that we can speculate on. Or consecutive candles. Nice little rally on Oanda. Nice little rally-based rally. I like that. Okay. The wick is in the way, which I don't like, but we'll go ahead and mark it up. So just FYI, guys, the ETM indicator, right? The ETM candle is 2.1. When you click on it, let me hide the drawings real quick. If you haven't done so, here goes the ETM candles. If you turn that off or on, it'll give you like the labels. Okay. Show BEC, show rally base rally, show break the structure candle. And then here, ETM zones. If you have these on, it'll give you those zones automatically. So instead of it just giving you the candlestick or the little triangle, right? You can turn these on and it will draw them for you automatically. Just FYI, if you didn't know we had that feature. Okay. So here goes the 12 hour, excuse me. 12-hour rally base rally. Okay, which is there. 8 hour, 8 hour rally base rally there, which is we kind of pierce through. Yeah, it makes it easier. Little fair value gap right there on the 4 hour, as I mentioned. Yeah, we had a break the structure candle here that didn't hold. Maybe we come back to it. I do. That's what I would like to see. Hold on. There's something. All right, good. So notice here that above this is a break the structure candle, and this is all potential selling zone right here, guys. Nice break the structure candle. Maybe get us to 61%. On the 1 hour, we had a BEC that got engulfed. Maybe we come back to it. All right, let's see. Let's see.
There you go, G. Nice one right there.
Which one you like, Denim?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. 30 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. So we'll just put it like this: 12-hour and 30 minutes. All right, nice 15-minute drop, page drop in the way as there. So I think to start the week, guys, because we are below on that one, Dan, actually, no, this is a different indicator that I use. This one is by, let me see if I can share it for you guys. Yeah, this is by Fair Value Gap's nephew, Sam. I think it's shareable. Okay. You can get in there, add it to your favorites, and then add it to your chart. I have a different template for this, the candlestick analysis, right? And then here, right? Let me hide the ETM candles. And let me hide the drawings. Here, the way I have it set up, I have mine set up only to see the 1 hour fair value gap and the 4 hour fair value gap, right? So no matter what time frame you're in, they'll come up. And you can kind of see that right there. I was trying to code it on mine, it's a little hard to do. Because I was focusing on SMT, so I'm using this one for now. I think in the future I will. He does share the code, which is good, and I can just copy it and apply it. But yeah, they'll give you the fair value gaps on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Yeah, I think you sure can. Yeah, I think you can use it on. Nico's asking about any other broker. Yeah, it can be used on any broker, any chart really. But yeah, nice little feature there. I mean, look at this one here, little fair value gap, which is also a break the structure candle. Came in there a couple of touches. See, and then it takes off. But I'm liking that, Danimal. I'm liking the week to start off a push down, and then from there we'll see how it goes, man.
Sure.
Maybe back to that 61% to start the week. Let's put 30. All right, let's keep.
Looks good, G. I like that because that'd give us basically 4 candlesticks up. Nice impulse, yeah.
Okay, to start the week, I like this. Bearish to start the week. And then we'll see if we can position ourselves there to go long or just see how it goes. Copy image. Copy link. Goldilocks. All right, guys, this will conclude our session for today. We will return back on the chats. I'll open up the classroom Monday. We can start chatting there. And other than that, I appreciate your support, guys. And we'll be in touch. Dan, we'll appreciate your help. And any other questions, guys? The WhatsApp's open for us to look at.
Anytime, and I should definitely be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central Time.
Okay, nice. For your study group?
Yep, and that'll probably be done till the end of about middle of January when all my treatments end. So I'll be out for a couple of weeks.
Perfect. I will. Dan will be live on the study group. And we'll go from there. All right, everybody have a good one. Thank you.